So dito ko rin lang po natutunan na meron palang order of priority in allocation of funds. Before kasi, iniisip ko, ano ba dapat ang mauna? Kasi ang dami ng company na nag-offer, kumuha ka ng life insurance. Okay, na-realize mo naman kung ano importance ng life insurance. But ito ba yung dapat mo talagang unahin? So yun ang question. Okay, other companies na naka-attend ako ng isang financial literacy, ang first step daw is to build your emergency fund. So imagine for 2 years, I was building my emergency fund. Okay, so hindi pa rin pala siya ang order of priority sa allocation of funds. Okay, so ano nga po ba dapat talaga? Okay, so why do we encourage you to build your solid financial foundation? Okay, so imagine your house. Okay, papaano po ba siya i-build? Nagsimula po ba sa bubong? Or nagsimula po ba siyang i-build yung foundation niya? Yung concrete, meron siyang haligi, okay? Is your house built on a strong foundation? Okay, so if our foundation is weak, ganito po ang mangyayari sa atin. Okay, kapag weak po ang ating foundation, pag dinaanan po tayo ng typhoon, ng earthquake, this is what going to happen to us. Okay, so the same concept applies to our financial foundation. Kapag po naka-experience tayo ng financial crisis, ano po yung mga financial crisis na tinatawag? So that's job loss or income, or someone in the family gets sick. Okay, guguho at guguho po yung na-build natin na foundation. That's why it's very important na we have to build a solid financial foundation from ground up. So meron po tayong sinusunod na priority. Hindi po tayo nagsisimula sa tuktok, pababa. Okay, so that's financial foundation. Okay, so ito po ang building blocks of a solid foundation. Okay, so first po natin na ibinibuild is dapat meron tayong healthcare or short-term or long-term. Second is we have to protect ourselves and our families. So we have income protection, eliminate our debts, emergency fund, and of course, we have to invest. Okay, so ito po ang ating building blocks of a solid financial foundation. Punta po tayo sa step 1. Kailangan po ba natin talaga ang long-term healthcare? Meron po ba tayong long-term healthcare? At kailangan po ba natin siya? Hindi po natin siya kailangan if nagfo-fall po tayo dito. Okay, si Superman po tayo. Yes, Darna, no? Superheroes. Hindi po tayo magkakasakit. Okay, kung tingin po ninyo, hindi kayo magkakasakit in the future, hindi po natin kailangan ng long-term care. And if you're forever working, madadala po natin ang ating HMO pag nag-retire na po tayo or pag wala na po tayo sa company. Okay, hindi natin kailangan ng long-term care. Also, kung kaya pong i-provide ng government, ang atin pong gastusin when it comes sa ating healthcare, hindi din po natin kailangan. And of course, if our son or daughter will pay for you when you get sick, hindi din po natin kailangan. But of course, kailangan din po nating isipin, our son or daughter later on will have their own family. So mag-change po ang priority nila. Kailangan nilang unahin ang kanilang family, hindi po tayo. So we have to prepare for this possibilities and these challenges. Okay, nagpo-fall po ba tayo dito? Tayo po ba ay Superman? Forever po ba tayo magtatrabaho? Kaya po ba ng government natin bayaran ng ating hospital bills? What if it's 3 million hospital bill? Katulad ng pinsan ng office mate ko na na-diagnose with COVID. Okay? So, hindi po natin kailangan ng long-term care. So, the comfort level of the healthcare situation by the age of 60 depends on the decision you make today. Gusto po ba natin ng comfortable life? Okay, by the age of 60, so you have to make the decision today. Okay, you have to have your healthcare. So ito po ang different healthcare po natin. So we have HMO, senior care, and of course, the long-term care. Ang HMO po, so usually ito yung nakukuha nating benefit from our employer. Okay, while for the senior care, ito po at saka long-term care, kailangan nating kuhain para sa sarili natin. Okay, so yung HMO, kapag hindi po natin magamit, yung company babayaran pa din po yung ating HMO. But for our senior healthcare, kapag po hindi natin siya magamit, mawawala po siya sa atin. Ang long-term care naman po, if hindi po natin siya magamit, mag-accumulate lang po ang ating pera. Okay, sa HMO, wala po siyang guaranteed renewal. Kasi nga po, meron lang tayong HMO kapag employed tayo. Okay? Sa senior care, healthcare, pre-existing illnesses will not be covered anymore. Kailan po ba naglalabasan ang mga sakit na po tayo, di po ba? Habang tumatanda tayo. Okay, so if you have pre-existing illnesses, hindi na po siya makakover ng inyong senior healthcare. Sa long-term care naman, after the paying period, all illnesses will be covered. Okay? So after the paying period, kahit ano pang sakit ang mailagay natin or lahat na po ng illnesses is pwede niya nang i-cover. Okay? So yun po ang difference po ng ating mga healthcare. Okay, so that's healthcare. We move on to our second step, income protection. Sino po ba sa atin dito ang merong life insurance? At bakit po ba natin kailangan ng life insurance? Okay, this is to protect your family if you die too soon. Okay, so dapat po protektahan natin ang ating family. Okay, isipin po natin what's going to happen to them. Okay, also to replace your income. To finance your children's education. Kasi nga po, every 7 years, dumadoble ang tuition fee, di po ba? So we have to prepare for that. Instant money for your family, to pay off your debts, and of course, to pay for estate tax. Okay. That's why we need healthcare. Okay, so ito po yung different types natin, healthcare, insurance. Okay, so ito po yung mga different types of insurance natin. So we have whole life. Ito po yung binabayaran natin as long as nabubuhay tayo. Okay, we have term insurance. Binabayaran lang po natin siya for a certain period of time. Okay, mababa lang po ang kanyang premium kapag nag-term insurance lang po tayo. Okay, meron din po tayong tinatawag na VUL or Variable Universal Life. Ito po yung ikinakabit sa term insurance. Okay, mas nagiging mahal po siya kasi ang VUL po is pwedeng rider, investment na ikinakabit po sa term insurance. Kaya po, nagiging mahal yung insurance. Okay? But our recommendation is to just get term insurance and then invest the difference to mutual fund or PDF. So ito po yung investment vehicle na magpapatubo po sa pera natin. Mutual fund or PDF. Okay? So ayun po ang ating mga insurance. So magkano naman po ang kailangan natin na insurance? Okay? So the conservative formula is annual income times 10 is equals to income replacement. Okay, so identify po natin magkano ba ang ating annual income, multiply po natin sa 10, yun po ang ating kailangan na income replacement. Okay, so bakit po 10? Okay, ang 10 po is that's the constant number na ginagamit po natin in computing our income replacement kasi nga hindi po natin alam kung hanggang kailan tayo mabubuhay. Okay, so kaya po ginagamit po natin ang 10 para po for 10 years meron tayong income replacement. So mapoprovide pa po natin ang mga needs natin. Okay, so let's have an example. Okay, for example, you are getting 20,000 every month. Multiply po natin sa 12 to get your annual income. That's 240,000. Okay, so i-multiply po natin ang 240,000 to 10. Ibig sabihin po, we need 2.4 million of insurance. Okay, this is the amount of insurance that you need. Okay, so bakit? Bakit do we need 2.4 million? Okay, assuming that you will be getting a 2.4 million insurance, this was actually invested to stocks, mutual fund, bonds. Okay, so nag-earn po siya ng interest. That's why you have 2.4 million. Okay, so annually you will still get 240,000. Monthly you can still get an income replacement of 20,000. Okay, that's why po tinatawag siyang income replacement because you will still be getting upon retirement, you will still be getting the same amount that you were getting as if you're still working. Diba po? Okay, so I hope that this amount that you're getting right now is comfortable enough for you to live off sa atin pong retirement. Okay, but sabi ko kanina, that's a conventional formula. But if you have debt, if you have mortgage to pay, and you are preparing for your children's education, we use the DIME formula. Actually, there are a lot of people po no na wala pong idea on how to compute how much the insurance that they need. Actually, before I conduct financial education, financial literacy classes here in IMG, hindi ko po siya alam. talaga nagre-rely ako doon sa agent ko sa aking life insurance na, oh sige, ito na lang ang kuhain mo. And only to find out I'm only insured for 1 million. Hindi ako ready. Wala naman po akong debt, but I'm not ready for my income replacement. Hindi po ako ready kung magkakaanak ako sa education. Okay? So, hindi po ako tinuruan. That's the good thing that we're conducting financial literacy classes. Kasi po, hindi namin kayo pakukuhain or hindi namin kayo bebentahan ng product. We are actually teaching you kung papaano para po mas maging wiser tayo sa ating decision. So, hindi ko alam na I need actually a 5 million life insurance. Okay? Kasi mas maganda mag-start ka ng bata ka pa kasi mas mura pa yung babayaran mo. Okay? So hindi kami nagkaroon ng financial check-up, hindi kami nagkaroon ng computation kung ano ba talaga ang kailangan mo. Magkano ba talaga ang kailangan mo, yung ganon. Okay? So walang ganon. Okay, so we are now teaching you on how to compute kung magkano ang kailangan nating i-prepare for our future. So that's debt, income, mortgage, and education. So ito po yung mga kailangan nating paghandaan. For example, you have a debt of 600,000. Okay, ang computation natin kanina, your income replacement is 2.4 million, mortgage 1 million, education 1 million. Usually, 1 million is being used if you have only one son or daughter. That's for the entire education na pinaprepare for a child. Pero kung meron kayong dalawa or tatlong anak, so imagine that's 2 or 3 million here para sa education. Okay, so let's just say na 1 million, may isa lang tayong anak, so 5 million. Actually, last week, I conducted a financial check-up sa isa kong friend. Okay, kasi that's already becoming a part of the culture here in the Philippines na actually government employees are being encouraged to take loans. Mga lending companies pa po ang pumupunta sa kanilang mga offices para lang po mag-apply sila for loan. Okay, i-compute ko magkano ang babawasin sa kanilang salary. And imagine a government employee with two children is only receiving 9,000 pesos every month. Meron po siyang 2 children. So cite niya sa akin, ano ba yung mga gastos niya, something. Tapos, kinompute namin. Sabi ko, you have a negative cash flow. Kasi you're only getting 9,000, you are paying for mortgage ng 4,000, you are paying for, tawag dito, yung mga children's needs ng 6,000. Basta kulang pa po yung ginagastos niya. And then when I computed kung magkano yung kailangan niyang i-prepare for the future, sabi niya, ang laki naman. Sabi ko na, you have to prepare for that kasi buti pa nga ngayon kasi yung mga anak mo is mga bata pa. Paano if they already reach college? Paano ka makakapagpaaral and you're only getting 9,000 pesos? Okay, so yun po yung aming discussion. Okay, so I hope after this session you will also be using the DIME formula and compute for the insurance that you need. Okay? Wag po tayong malula. Okay? So just talk to the person who invited you. Have a financial check-up, and pag nakita po natin na we cannot provide or pay for this 5 million, you can start small. Okay, baby steps po. Pwede tayong mag-umpisa sa small amount. Okay, and then let's build for our solid financial foundation. Okay, so just talk to the person who invited you para ma-assist po kayo because we can do financial check-up and we can offer solutions po sa atin pong mga worries, financial worries. Okay, so that's income protection. Let's move on to elimination of debt. Sino po kaya dito ang can proudly say na siya ay debt-free? Okay, so imagine this is the last day na magbabayad po tayo ng ating utang. When I was a newly graduate, I woke up, hindi naman newly graduate, pero when I was younger, nagtatrabaho po ako as a nurse. I was only getting 275 pesos every month. I woke up one day, meron po akong 300,000 pesos na utang. Okay, kaya po, pinapa-imagine ko sa inyo, if you have debts, imagine this is the last day na you're going to pay for your debt. Okay, ang sarap po talaga ng feeling. Talagang iprinamis ko sa sarili ko na hindi na talaga ako mangungutang after that. Okay? It was actually because of the credit card. And then after that talaga, nung nabayaran ko yung last ko na credit card, although hindi naman siya ina-advise to close your account sa mga credit cards, no? Talagang naging, ano ko siya sa sarili ko. Talagang I cut off my credit card. I closed it sa doon sa mga banks. Okay? So, imagine this is the last day that you're going to pay for your debt. 'Di ba? Ang sarap ng feeling. I am debt free. Okay? Parang Darna lang. Yes, imagine this is the last day in paying off your debt. How does it feel? 'Di ba? Okay? Ang ideally speaking po, ang present income kasi natin should provide for our present needs. Okay? Pero ang nangyayari if we have utang, because we are prioritizing paying off our debt, ang present income natin nagpo-provide dapat sa ating present needs. Pero ang nangyayari, kapag may utang tayo, okay, our present income nagiging pambayad sa ating utang. So what's going to happen with our present needs? Magiging cycle lang po siya because we have to use our future income. Ano po ba itong mga future income? Okay? Para po doon sa ating mga OFWs na wala dito sa Philippines. This is becoming a culture here in the Philippines. Actually, last week naka-receive ako ng offer. Ate, pautang naman. Isasanla ko na lang sa iyo yung yung ATM card. Okay? So, ang nangyayari is nangungutang tayo ng nangungutang. Wala pa yung sahod natin sa palad natin. Tinangay na siya ng hangin. Diba? Tinangay na siya ng hangin. So, ganun po ang nangyayari. So, it's just going to be a cycle. Para siyang rat race. It's just going to be cycle. Kung hindi po natin i-resolve ang ating issue when it comes to having debt. So why should we strive to manage or eliminate our debts? Kasi po, if hindi po natin makontrol ang ating debt, your income will be useless. Oo, I'm talking about this na galing po sa aking experience. Your income will be useless. Parang hindi na po tayo ginaganahan magtrabaho kasi hindi na natin na-experience ang ating income. Okay? So it will increase your financial security kasi instead of paying off your debt, yung ipinababayad po natin sa utang natin could already be paid to your insurance, could already be a contribution to build your emergency fund. Okay, mas mag-i-increase po ang ating financial security if we have no debt. Okay, spend on things you enjoy without feeling guilty. Ayan. Pwede ka nang uminom sa Starbucks ng once a month. Okay, kapag wala ka ng utang, 'di ba? Kapag may utang ka, hindi mo siya magawa kasi nagigilty ka because that's another expense and then dapat inuuna mo ang pagbayad ng iyong utang. Reduce money worries, reduce the number of bills you pay, of course, and also teach your children good money habits. Because if your children can hear you, kayong mag-asawang pinag-uusapan is about utang, o sige, umutang ka na lang dun sa tindahan ng corned beef. Umutang ka sa tindahan ng Coke or ng anything else that you need at home, or umutang na lang tayo ng pang tuition fee kay lola, kay grandma, or sa other lending institution. So it's becoming a part of their culture. Okay? So yun ang tumatatak sa utang nila na it's okay. It's just okay to have credits. Okay? So mga ganon. So teach your children good money habits. Okay, so that's elimination of debts. Let's move on to emergency fund. Meron po ba tayong emergency fund? Okay, this is legit. Diba, I told you a story earlier na I attended a financial literacy class in Cotabato, and then ang turo, it's another company. Ang turo niya is, siguro it's an investment company, no? Kaya ganun. Ang turo niya is, you have to build your emergency fund first. And then after that, you move on to investment. Okay, so for 2 years, I was building my emergency fund. And it's not a joke kasi it's really a discipline na kailangan na, ito itatabi ko na lang pandagdag sa emergency fund, or I have to set aside this kind of amount for my emergency fund. So it's really discipline when you're building your emergency fund. But I encourage everyone to do that kasi po hindi natin alam kung anong mangyayari in the future. 'Di ba, pandemic came, so ang daming nawalan ng trabaho. Okay, so hindi natin alam. Okay, we have to be prepared for that. Okay, so nabanggit ko na po kanina ang ating mga blind spots. What if I die too soon? Who will take care of your family? Our solution there is to have a life insurance. Okay, what if I live too long? Who will take care of you? Our solution there is to have an investment and long-term care. Ang atin pong third blind spot is what if there's an emergency? How are you going to prepare for it? Okay, so ang answer there is to have an emergency fund. Okay, so I hope that you're already starting to build your emergency fund because you have to build about 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses para po maging financially worry-free tayo. Okay? Bakit nga ba kailangan natin mag-build ng emergency fund? Okay, ang emergency fund po natin, strictly, dapat siyang ginagamit kapag emergency cases, no? Financial crisis, na pinaka-experience tayo ng financial crisis and there's an emergency. Hindi po siya pwedeng galawin unless nag-fall po siya dito. Okay, so if you lost your job, okay, there is a serious hospitalization kapag po sa inyo or sa inyong family, elderly care, and of course, major home, car, and appliance repair. Okay, outside sa mga nabanggit ko po, hindi po pwedeng galawin ang emergency fund. Okay, so that's why I said it's really discipline to build an emergency fund. So ang sabi po is we have to build a 3 to 6 months worth of our monthly expenses. Okay, so first is we have to identify magkano ba ang ginagastos natin every month. Okay, so that's a challenge after this session. Identify muna po natin magkano bang ginagastos natin every month. Okay, medyo nalalakihan tayo kasi nakikita natin na it's worth 3 to 6 months, no? But sabi ko po sa inyo kanina, baby steps. It takes time to build a habit. So, i-train po natin yung sarili natin psychologically by building micro habits. Okay? So, let's start. Mag-goal po muna tayo. Okay? Maghuhulog ako ng 1,000 pesos every month, for example, para sa aking emergency fund. Okay? After 3 months, 3 to 6 months, nasanay na tayo, no, na naguhulog ng 1,000. Increase na natin. Ang goal na natin is to reach the worth of 3 months of your expenses. Okay? So, kapag nasanay na tayo, you increase to 6 months. Okay? So, that's how you build your emergency fund. And, of course, kailangan po natin siyang ilagay somewhere na easy access po. Madali po siyang i-access. So, hindi po advisable na we're going to put it sa time deposit, mga ganyan. So, sa savings account po talaga siya dapat ginagamit. Kasi nga po, emergency. Okay? So, if we experience this, madali po natin siyang makukuha. Okay? So, that's emergency fund. But why do we need to save? This is to protect you in the event of financial emergency. Tulad po na nabanggit ko kanina, help you pay large purchases, avoid debt, reduce financial stress, leave a financial legacy, and of course, provide you a greater experience of financial freedom. Okay, sabi ko nga po sa inyo, unemployed na po ako next year. Okay, so I'm actually preparing. So nagbi-build ako ng aking emergency fund, no? Kasi nagpe-prepare ako sa aking unemployment. And meron lang psychological effect kapag po alam natin na we have savings, meron tayong money na nakatabi. So it's just, meron siyang psychological effect sa atin na mas feeling secured tayo. Parang hindi tayo natatakot sa mangyayari in the future kasi nakapag-ready tayo. Okay? So that's why we encourage everyone to save. So how are we doing so far? Okay? Pagdating po sa savings and building our emergency fund, how are you doing so far? For example, we are working 10 years. For 10 years now. Okay, so ang average annual income na po natin is 300,000 and we're working 10 years for 10 years. Okay, ibig sabihin, nakapag-earn na po tayo ng 3 million. Magkano na po ang na-save natin out of that 3 million? Okay? So, here po, we recommend this formula. It's the abundance formula or the 10-20-70 budgeting rule. Okay, ano po yung 10-20-70? So, ibig sabihin po, upon receiving your income, you will minus the 10% ng income po natin that will go to tithes or offerings. So, ito po yung ibinibigay natin sa any church of our choosing, any religious organization, or any donation po sa kahit na anong charity or community services na gusto po natin. So, it depende po sa atin, basta it's about giving back to our church, giving back to the community, kung saan po tayo spiritually nag-grow. Okay? Yung 20% naman po, okay, minus din po natin yung 20% sa income natin. This will go to your emergency fund, retirement fund, and savings account. Okay? While the 70% po na nagre-remain, ito po yung gagamitin natin sa ating mga due date. Okay? Pambayad po ng bahay, utilities, healthcare, transportation, and groceries. Okay? So that's the abundance formula. Okay? So we have to try this. I-try po natin, no, after this session. Identify po natin magkano ba yung 10% ng salary ko. Ito yung kailangan kong itabi. Magkano ba yung 20%? So yung 20% is 70%. Okay? We have to aim na we live below 70%. Okay? So that's abundance formula, or paying God and yourself first. Okay, so I did an innovation. Instead of 70% for my expenses, essentials, or needs, ginawa ko lang po siyang 50%. Meron po akong tinatawag na want fund. Okay, so whenever yung want fund ko is 20% din po. So whenever I want to eat out, I want to watch movie, hobbies, or gym, syempre ang aking pong Netflix, mga ganyan. So anything na I want to spend on outside my regular expenses or needs, dito ko po siya binabawas. Of course, you have to assess yourself if kaya po ba natin na magkaroon ng want fund. See, this is my guilt-free fund. So, hindi po ako nagigilty kapag dito ko siya binabawas. And you have to also make sure na you are spending below that 20% want fund. Okay, so that's the innovation that I did sa acting abundance formula. Okay, we're done with the emergency fund. Let's talk about investment. Okay, meron po ba tayong mga investments? When you reach a certain age, talaga nagkakaroon tayo ng interest no, to have investments. Okay, sa investment po, importanteng malaman natin or makilala si compounding interest. Okay, si compounding interest po ay inintroduce ng akin pong lolo. Kilala niyo po ba yung lolo ko? Yeah, si Albert Einstein. Okay, ang compounding interest ay tinatawag din pong rule of 72. Okay, ano po ang formula? That 72 divided by the interest rate. 72 po is a constant number. Okay, kung saan po yung bangko natin ngayon, let's identify the interest rate. Ang equals po niyan is the number of years it will take for your funds to double. Kung kailan po dodoble ang ating fund. Okay, so another challenge ko po sa inyo after this session, you identify your bank, identify magkano ang interest rate, and then you compute for the compounding interest. Okay, the rule of 72. That's 72 divided by interest rate. Okay, masyashock po kayo. Masyashock po kayo. Later, we will be having an example. Really, talaga nung naintindihan ko po yung rule of 72, naisip ko, bakit ba hindi ko siya kilala when I was 20 years old? Okay, ang dami pong nagsasabi niyan na sana nakilala nila si compounding interest nung bata pa sila. Okay, ano pong ibig sabihin ng compounding interest? Ang compounding interest is ito po yung naglalagay po tayo ng savings or capital investment, and then may tumutubo po, nag-i-interest po siya. So yung interest is nadadagdag po doon sa ating capital investment. So that's why it's called compounding interest. But be warned, kasi yun po ang ginagamit na formula sa ating savings and investment, and it could also work against you. Why? Ito din po ang ginagamit sa pagko-compute ng ating interest sa ating loan. Okay? So kaya po tumutubo ang ating mga utang. Okay? So that's why we have to understand compounding interest. Okay? I did the research of our major banks here in the Philippines. According to PesoLab po noong December 2020. So ito po yung mga interest rate ng ating major banks. Okay, if you would notice pong pinakamalaki is si Security Bank, no, 1.20%. Okay, so the rest is less than 1%. Okay, so let's have an example. For example, ilagay po natin ang ating pera sa isang investment vehicle na meron po siyang 4% interest rate. 72 divided by 4 is equals to 18. Ano pong ibig sabihin? Dodoble po ang ating pera every 18 years. Kung nagkaroon po tayo ng investment na savings ng 20 years old tayo na 100,000, okay? Pagka age of 38 po, 200 na siya. When we reach 56 years old, 400,000 na siya. Okay, so that's how it works. That's for 4% investment vehicle. How about if we found an investment vehicle na may 8% interest rate? So 72 divided by 8 is equals to 9. Every 9 years po, dodoble ang ating investment. Okay, so if you have 100,000 by the age of 20, when you reach 29, 200 na po siya. When you reach 38, 400 na siya. When you reach 56, 1.6 na siya. Okay, I told you, sana kilala ko si compounding interest when I was 20 years old. Okay? Kasi kung kilala ko siya, sana nag-invest na ako, no? When I reach 56 years old, milyonarya na sana ako. Okay, so how about if we're going to put it in an investment vehicle with 12% interest rate? So that's 72 divided by 12 is equals to 6. Ibig sabihin, every 6 years, dodoble po ang ating investment. So if 20 years old, you have 100,000. When you reach 56 years old, 6.4 na po siya. Sino pong may ayaw nun? Okay, so 4% to 8%, nag-times 4 po ang ating investment. Okay, from 8% to 12%, nag-times 16 po siya. Okay, so that's compounding interest. Okay, so let's have an example. For example po, I have a friend, si Nicole. She's 27 years old. Meron po siyang savings na 100,000. Okay, nagtanong po siya, saan po ba magandang ilagay itong 100,000 na to? So, okay, tingnan natin, bigyan natin siya ng advice, no? Okay, kapag inilagay natin siya sa wallet or sa safe, doon lang sa bahay natin, wala siyang i-earn po na interest. Siyempre, nasa wallet lang natin, no? O hindi kaya, nandoon lang sa, yung lolo ko before, alam niyo po yung haligi na kawayan, yun lang po ginagawa niyang alkansya. So, yung haligi namin may mga coins. Okay, pag nilagay natin siya sa wallet or safe, wala siyang i-earn na interest. Okay, hindi din po siya dodoble. So, earnings before the age of 60, wala din po. Okay, if we put it sa savings account, usual savings account po natin na interest rate, that's only 0.20%. Kailan dodoble ang savings ni Nicole? After 360 years. Okay, so earnings before age of 60, so ang kanyang 100,000, magkakaroon lang po ng 6,000 pesos. Okay, kung sa time deposit, usually that's 1%, no? Sa 72% to doble ang kanyang pera. Earnings before the age of 60, 200,000. Okay, if we're going to put it sa stocks or mutual fund, okay, ang estimated annual interest rate is 12%. Okay, kailan dodoble? Using the formula of rule of 72, every 6 years, dodoble yung investment ni Nicole na 100,000. So at the age of 27, 100, age of 33, 200. By the age of 63, 6.4 na po siya. Okay, so that's how it works. So are we Mr. Start Early or Mr. Wait Longer? Si Mr. Start Early po, nagsisave siya ng 20,000 for 6 years at 12% interest rate. While si Mr. Wait Longer, nagsave din po siya ng 20,000 per year for 6 years at 12% interest rate din po. Pero, nag-start siya 6 years later than Mr. Start Early. So, tingnan po natin magkano po ba ang marireceive nila upon retirement. So, sa retirement po ni Mr. Start Early, 9.5 na po ang kanyang marireceive. Okay, nag-accumulate na po ang kanyang fund, naging 9.5 million. While si Mr. Wait Longer, kasi nahuli po siya 6 years, no? Biruin nyo kung ano po ang mawawala sa atin. Okay, after 6 years, by the age of retirement po niya, magiging 4.8 lang po ang na-accumulate ng kanyang fund. Okay, so procrastination is one of the main cause of failure. Okay, so this is the high cost of waiting. Kung kaya naman po natin mag-save and mag-invest ngayon, bakit po natin ipagpapabukas? So there are two ways of investing in the Philippine stock market po. Ito yung tinatawag na direct stocks and meron din po tayong tinatawag na indirect. So ito po yung mga mutual funds, investment po sa mga bonds. Okay, ano po yung difference nila? Direct stock market is yung tayo po ang direkta na nag-aaral ng performance ng market. Tayo yung nagpapa-register sa mga dito sa stock market. Ang pinakasikat yata dito sa Philippines is the COL. So mag-register po tayo doon. Ang average cost upon registering to mga ganong platforms po is around 5,000 to 6,000. 6,000, that's only registration. Hindi ka pa po tuturuan, wala ka pong hindi ka pa nila tuturuan kung paano siya gagawin. Okay? So that's a direct stock market. Tayo ang nag-aaral ng performance ng market, tayo din po ang nag-decide kailan tayo bibili, kailan tayo magsisell. Okay? While indirect, is ito po yung ating mga mutual fund. Okay? Ang mutual fund po is a pool of investors. Okay? So, marami pong tao na parang nagko-contribute to form a certain amount para po invest sa stock market or sa mutual fund. So, bumibili tayo ng mga shares. Okay? So, that's the difference. Meron pong fund manager na nagmamanage ng fund natin sa indirect or sa mutual fund. Okay? So, that's the difference po nila. Okay? So, para mas madali po siyang intindihin, ganito po ang aking analogy. Okay? Ako po, taga Tacloban. Pag gusto ko pong umuwi, kailangan kong sumakay ng eroplano. Ngayon, kailangan ko pa po bang mag-aral maging pilot? Okay, para makauwi po ako ng Tacloban. Or, okay, sitting pretty na lang po ako pagkasakay ko ng eroplano, matutulog na lang ako pagkagising ko, nasa Tacloban na ako. We still arrive at the same destination, pero hindi na ako nag-aral maging pilot. Naging passenger na lang ako. Okay, so that's the difference between direct stocks and indirect stock market or mutual fund investment. Okay, kilala po ba natin ang mga big companies na to? These are actually some of the publicly listed companies in the Philippine stock market. So we have 250 plus po. Okay, ang pinaka-favorite ko dyan, si Jollibee, kasi mahilig po akong kumain sa Jollibee. Okay, so we have BDO. So these are tinatawag po ng mga blue chip companies. So kapag po sinabing blue chip companies, ibig sabihin established na po siya and registered po siya sa Philippine Stock Exchange. Okay? So there are about 250 plus publicly listed companies in the Philippine stock market. Okay? So kung direkta po tayong mag-engage sa stock market, okay? So tayo pa po ang mag-aaral ng performance ni BDO, ni Aboitiz, ni Ayala Land, BPI, ni Jollibee. Okay, so ganun po siya. You need to be guided to avoid losing a lot of money. So kailangan, yun lang din po ang ifo-focus natin, pag-aaralan natin. Okay, so while with a mutual fund, makakapag-invest po tayo sa kanila through our fund manager. Okay, so that's why. Okay, so ito po, I just want to share a scenario before. Noong 1997 po ang price po ni Pambansang Bubuyog, ang ating masayang bubuyog here in the Philippines, no? 1997, 27 pesos. Okay, ngayon at present time, 172.90 na ang kanyang per share. Okay, so that's why po in-encourage na for long-term investment, we should invest in mutual fund. Okay, paano po siya kino-compute? For example, if you were listening sa video po na we were presenting earlier, ang sabi po doon ng isang IMG Big 3 is, time is an important ally. Kasi kahit pa po gaano karami ang ating investment, kung wala po tayong time, hindi po yan tutubo ng overnight. Okay, so we have to do it consistently and while we still have the time. For example, month 1 po, nag-contribute tayo 100 pesos. Ang price per share at that time, 100 pesos din po. So, ibig sabihin, nakabili tayo ng one share. Okay, month 2, 100 pesos, pero bumaba ang kanyang price per share, naging 50 pesos. Okay, so nakabili siya ng 2 shares. Okay, sa sumunod na month, bumaba pa rin po ang kanyang price per share, so naging 25 pesos. Okay, nakabili lang po siya ng 4. Okay, naging 20 pesos sa next month, nakabili po siya ng 5. 25 pesos tumaas, nakabili siya ng 4. Okay, sa next month, 50 pesos na po ang price per share, nakabili siya ng 2. For 6 months, ang total contribution po natin is 600 pesos. Ang total number of accumulated shares natin, 18. Okay, i-compute po natin. That's 18, the number of accumulated shares, times the last share price, which is 50 pesos, is equals to 900. Okay, ibig sabihin po, magkano ang ating total contribution for 6 months? 600 pesos. Pero after 6 months, ang atin pong total value is 900 pesos. Ibig sabihin, after 6 months, we gained over 50%, okay, ng ating investment. Ulitin ko po, magkano po ang ating interest rate sa ating mga bangko? Di ba po, less than 1%? Di ba? Pero here, pwedeng mag-gain ng ating investment ng over 50%. But we encourage to do this long term. Okay, time is an important ally. Here, we just want to show you na if we're going to save consistently, for example, 600 pesos per month, in 10 years, that's already 138. 20 years, 589. 30 years, 2 million. 600 lang po ba ang kaya nating i-save every month? How about if you can save 1,500 or 3,000? That's already 692 ng 10 years, 20 years, 2.9. 30 years, that's already 10.3 million. Okay, so that's the value of your savings. So how about if the 70% po, nare-remember po ba natin? Yung 70% doon sa ating 10-20-70 rule. 70% is the percentage that we spend para po sa ating essentials or sa ating mga expenses. How about if this is not enough for my needs or for my family's needs? Okay. So, ang amin pong recommendation is to increase your cash flow, reduce expenses, and increase your income. Okay? Nare-remember niyo po yung example ko kanina? Yung friend ko na government employee na he was only getting 9,000, meron siyang 2 kids, and he has to prepare for his children's education, mga ganyan. So, negative po talaga ang kanyang cash flow. So, I told him, kailangan ka talaga mag-increase ng cash flow, reduce your expenses, and increase your income. So, tinuruan ko siya kung how it's going to be done. Okay, so, ano po bang ibig sabihin when we say or when we talk about cash flow? For example, may monthly income po tayong 20,000. And nag-sit down tayo, no? Kinumpute natin magkano bang monthly expenses ko. Only to find out you were actually spending 25,000 pesos every month. Ibig sabihin po, you have a negative cash flow. Kasi kulang pa po ang inyong monthly income to sustain your monthly expenses. So saan po natin kukuhain itong 5,000 na to? Okay, mangungutang na naman po tayo. Okay, so that's cash flow. So how to increase your cash flow? For example, you have a job that requires you to work for 10 hours. We sleep for 7 hours. So ibig sabihin we have a spare time of 7 hours. Okay, the best available time to build your wealth is during your spare time. Okay, we also have to reduce our expenses because the goal is to be rich, not to look rich. Okay, reduce your expenses, live below your means. Ibig sabihin, if you only have 70% of your income for your expenses, live below that 70%. Okay, defer buying new gadgets and wants. Okay, ano pong nabudol sa atin ng 5-5? Okay, ano po ba ang na-tempt tayong bilhin nung 5-5 po na sale? Okay, so defer new gadgets. Kung hindi naman po natin kailangan ng bagong gadget, okay, bakit po tayo bibili? Bakit po tayo mag-upgrade? Okay, defer buying new gadgets and wants. So we have to identify kung yung item po ba na yon is a need or a want. Okay, kung ma-identify po natin na it's a need, kailangan ko kailangan ng family ko. Okay, so go ahead. Check your budget na you're still within the limit of your budget. But if it's a want, okay, tulugan lang po muna natin kasi baka naman napadaan lang sa social media natin and nakita lang natin so natatempt lang tayo or it's just a splurge of the moment. Okay, so slip it off kapag want, ma-identify po natin na it's just a want. Save instead of sale. Okay, so I was actually encourage everyone, no? Nagsasend kasi ako ng update ng how much ba ang price per share ngayon sa mutual fund. Okay, mas maganda po siguro if we could create a community na mag-encourage sa atin bumili ng share kapag sale. Hindi po mag-encourage sa ating mag-spend na bumili ng mga things kapag sale. Ang favorite example ko dito is si Cheese Escudero. Okay, we know Cheese Escudero and Heart Evangelista, di ba? Heart Evangelista is elite something. Okay, and they were interviewed regarding their finances. Ang major takeaway ko sa interview with Cheese Escudero is, lagi niya daw sinasabihan si Heart Evangelista, okay, whatever it is that is on sale that you do not need is expensive. Why? Because you are actually buying something na hindi po natin gagamitin. Okay, whatever it is that is on sale that you do not need. Okay, ang emphasis po dyan is the word need. Whatever it is that is on sale that you do not need is expensive. Kasi imagine if hindi naman po talaga natin siya kailangan, no? Magiging tambak lang po siya, dagdag basura, dagdag sa ating mga hoardings. Okay, so save instead of sale. Reduce eating out. So if we're eating kay pabansang bubuyog ng 4 times a month and ma-identify natin sa ating monthly expenses na lumalagpas na po tayo, okay, i-reduce po natin. Kung kumakain tayo ng 4 times, 1 time na lang. Okay. Earn additional income and use your spare time to earn extra income. Meron tayong 7 hours, di po ba? There are a lot of things that we can do for that 7 hours. Okay? Ang isa pong opportunity kasi na ini-open ng pandemic is that nag-open po siya sa maraming platforms online for na pwede po tayong kumita ng extra. Okay, so there's also an opportunity here in IMG for you to earn extra income, and there are a lot actually of platforms na pwede po tayong mag-earn ng income. Okay, I also do IMG business, and then I also sell online. Okay, may mga beauty products po akong sinesell, so I am earning additional income. Also, you have to preserve your estate. Okay, so we have to plan who gets your home, who will inherit your bank accounts. Can you avoid arguments over your belongings and keepsake? And do you have funds to pay for your estate tax? Okay, so these are the things that we also have to prepare for. Okay, so this is the building blocks of our solid financial foundation. So upon discussing our financial foundation, do you think you have a weak or a solid financial foundation? Ang first step po kasi dyan is to be honest with yourself. Okay? Para matulungan po tayo ng taong nag-invite sa atin. Okay? Sa tingin po ba natin, we have a weak or solid financial foundation? I started with IMG last December. Okay, so I think ganito pa po ang itsura ng aking financial foundation. Okay, so I started paying for my healthcare. Okay, I already have income protection. So I think I'm already paying for 2 years now. Wala po akong utang. I'm building my emergency fund and I have investments. So ganito po ang itsura ng aking financial foundation. But here in IMG, we want to help you move from left to right. Gusto po namin lahat po tayo maging ganito ang itsura ng financial foundation. Okay? So, move on tayo sa ating second part ng discussion, the practical recommendations for applications. Paano po ba natin i-apply lahat ng mga sinasabi ni Coach Joy for more than an hour now? Paano ba natin siya magagamit? Okay? So, we have top 3 financial challenges that we have to address. Okay, ang first is of course our long-term care. Kasi kahit ano pa pong investment natin, kahit ano pa pong build natin ng ating emergency fund, if you got sick or someone in the family gets sick, syempre hindi naman po natin maaatim no ng konsensya natin na pabayaan natin. Okay, so we have to address this. And of course, para po makapag-prepare tayo if we live too long, okay, so we have to address this too, and then also our investment para we are letting our money grow. So ito po yung top 3 financial challenges that we have to address. We have a solution for that. Okay? We partnered with Kaiser International. Okay? Na ina-address na po niya ang long-term care. Meron na po siyang income protection and of course, investment. Okay? So that's Kaiser. For our elimination of debt. If you become a member of IMG, we have a separate workshop for this. Okay, so we teach kung paano ba natin pwedeng ma-eliminate ang ating debt. And of course, there's also a separate workshop for building your emergency fund. So who does not want to learn and build your solid financial foundation? So become a part of our community. Sabi ko nga po sa inyo, this is a community of savers and investors. We will teach you how, because education without execution will not move on to transformation. Wala pong mangyayari sa ating life if na-educate lang po tayo but we are not actually practicing it. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Just do the mission, sustain your savings, and increase your cash flow. So become a member of IMG and join our advocacy, own a product, and of course, do the IMG business para po ma-share po natin sa ating family and friends. And of course, we can build a solid financial foundation just as the person who invited you. Okay, so i-run down ko lang po ang basic IMG membership natin. Okay, with just a one-time payment, you get a lifetime enrollment to financial education classes. Sabi ko nga po sa inyo, dapat uhaw tayo sa learning, no? Okay. You also get free financial checkup. You automatically get a 100,000 personal accident insurance. So dito pa lang po kota na tayo. Okay, solve na po siya sa akin dito pa lang. You also get free eye checkup and frames, unlimited health checkup, and of course, hindi lang po tayo nagiging member of IMG, but automatically you are already an investor. Why? Yung 1,000 pesos po sa ating ibabayad sa IMG automatically goes to your online mutual fund account. Okay, you also get access to Dominate online marketing tools. This is an online marketing tool developed by IMG to help those who are doing the IMG business. And of course, you get discounts on courses, car, and property purchases. So, Coach Joy, magkano po ba ang IMG membership? So, you get all of these benefits for only 5,500 pesos. Yes. Sabi ko nga po sa inyo, 100,000 personal accident insurance pa lang, solve na po siya sa akin. Sino bang magbibigay sa akin ng 100,000 personal accident insurance, di po ba? And babayaran ko lang po is 5,500, one-time payment lang siya. And then, parang hindi naman po 5,500 talagang babayaran natin because the 1,000 automatically goes to your online mutual fund account. Okay, so that's IMG. Ito po, I just want to share kasi I usually hear this sa aking mga ini-invite na family and friends. What if I can't afford what if I can't afford to pay now? Okay, so I suggest talk to the person who invited you. Wag po nating sarilinin kasi we have solutions for that. Submit yourself for a financial check-up para makita po natin saan ba tayo may pagkukulang, saan ba tayo dapat mag-improve. Okay? And how are we going to do it para po masolusyonan natin? Okay? So this is a change of mindset. Okay? Wag po nating isipin kung ano ang issue, kung ano ang current challenge na na-experience natin, but our mindset should be how can I solve it? Okay? Papaano ba na hindi ko na siya ma-experience next year? Okay? Do the IMG business and earn extra income so you can afford to pay. Just talk to the person who invited you. Okay? And I also want to share this with you. Meron po tayong two choices. Okay? You got two choices. Do it now or regret it later. So, asan po tayo dito? Okay, I always hear this. I wish life had a rewind button. Wala po siyang rewind button. So if we're going to pass up for the opportunity right now to build our solid financial foundation is mapapasana all na lang po tayo. Okay? Sana ginawa ko na siya last year. Okay, so I think that's the last slide for my presentation. Talk to us. This is my FB page and my contact number, but I suggest that you contact the person who invited you. The floor is now